come game hunting today with me to this antique mall. I found some really awesome stuff, so come along for the ride because there's some really cool stuff I found. Starting off, I found two Mario Kart cars in the wrappers here. There's a Shy Guy as well as a Luigi one, which is pretty cool. But then I moved on to this next booth that has an absolute ton of stuff, a few games here and there, obviously some there. Down here on the ground, these have all been picked through, and there's nothing new here since the last time I was here, so kind of just looked pretty quickly and then moved on. There's just so much to look at. There's a big Tails plush here. There's some Pikachus down below. There is just a ton of Mario or video game stuff related into this booth, but nothing I had to have. So I continued on to this booth where I spotted it right away, and that is this Mario from the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is absolutely awesome. Now, they did want $12.99, which was a lot, but ultimately I ended up grabbing it. I ended up seeing this as well, which was pretty cool, but nothing I needed. And last but not least, I ended up seeing the Sonic box set, but that was a little too expensive for me, so I left it behind. But I did think I might have paid up a little for this thing, but when I looked this up, it was going for like 30 or 40 bucks. So paying $12.99 for this is totally awesome. I am probably going to put it over here on this shelf because I feel like that's like the perfect place to put this thing. But for $12.99, would you have picked this up? I contemplated it, I grabbed it, and then walked around the store, and at the end I was like, all right, I'll end up grabbing it. So this is the first thing that I found, but there's more to come. So I continued on where I found this booth that has had these same NHL 2002s forever, still sealed, and some random Wii games. This booth as well, Xbox 360 games that are overpriced. I still want to grab this Fast and Furious game, but for 20 bucks, it's definitely not worth that. It's worth like 8 bucks to be honest, so I can't pay 20 for it. This next booth, again, I think is probably owned by the same owner of that other booth because there's just so many knickknacks and everything. It's just so much to look at, but honestly, there wasn't anything I wanted to grab. Then I found this bag full of Pokemon things for 25% off, but it really wasn't worth it. The Charmander or the Charizard in there was broken and the wings had broke off, and there were a bunch of little Pikachus that were cool, but not worth picking up. Then this next booth had a ton of different games, so I ended up kind of going through it and looking and seeing what I could find here. Starting off with this Need for Speed game, I actually ended up having that. Then Guitar Hero Aerosmith was not a bad price, but not something I needed to grab. Though I did find Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition for the PS4 that I grabbed, as well as Extreme Legends Dynasty Warrior 5. I ended up grabbing both of these, which were definitely well worth picking up. I didn't have these in my collection, so I figured let's go ahead and grab these two games because you don't see games at these prices for very much, honestly. So starting off, we've got Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition. I don't have Minecraft on the PS4 at all, so I figured I'd grab it. And then Extreme Legends Dynasty Warriors 5. I also don't have this on the PS2, so I ended up grabbing both of these from this booth, which is totally awesome because usually when you see game-related booths like this, you'll see some games that are just way overpriced, but these were actually a good deal, so I ended up grabbing them. Then I ended up seeing this Mario box on the ground and wondered what it was, and lo and behold, it was like Mario and Luigi shoes, which were pretty interesting, but these are a little too small for me, so I left them behind. Then I found this interesting looking Nintendo DS game, but it was missing the game case, so I really didn't want to grab this. It looked a little too expensive anyways when I looked it up. Nothing else here on the shelf was very interesting to me, but then to the left, I ended up finding a Donkey Kong Country Returns Wii for 5 bucks. Not a bad deal if you don't have the game, but I didn't need it, so I left it behind. Then a little PlayStation hat here, brand new. Interesting to see all in one booth, but I got it out of there and continued on where I ended up going to this booth that has had a bunch of games here lately. I still want to grab the gig and find the guitar, but I haven't yet, so I got to find a good condition one because I don't want to waste my money, but it's interesting to see these things, but I didn't get anything from this booth. A little Mario hiding back there, so I continued on here. You saw me. I saw this booth from afar. I've bought games from here, but these games on the back had been mostly picked through. There was a bunch of PS2 games, a bunch of Wii and Xbox 360 games, and 2 DS games at the very end here. Now, I thought I was going to get both of these, but I actually have this Mystery Case Files game, but I do not have this Nancy Drew game. So I figured for $5 I'd go ahead and grab it, but I had the other Mystery Case Files game, so I did ultimately end up putting that back. But I've been playing my Nintendo DS a lot lately, so I figured when I saw this, I might as well. For $5, this game's worth about 10, but it's probably one of those games that I'll play once and have some fun with, but probably won't ever revisit. And for $5, I think that's perfectly okay for a game like this. I continued walking down the aisles in search of more video games. I saw this Mario Bowser Castle thing here from the movie, as well as a few Pokemon things in this booth, but this is all brand new stuff that is overpriced. This booth has recently moved, but they still have these games here. I kind of picked through them again, but nothing I honestly need or want, so I kind of just looked through them, and I took some pictures of for my friend to see if he wanted any, but he didn't. Then I went to this booth, which just had some random sports games shoved in with these books, which was totally weird to me. But I got out of that booth and continued on, where I saw this little Kirby from afar, but they wanted way too much for this thing, so I ultimately ended up passing on it. A few Xbox One games here, Skyrim, and then a Madden game. Honestly, I don't need these, so I didn't pick them up either. Then on the floor here is a Wii Fit Plus. Yeah, you see that price. Absolutely insane. A few Game Boy games in this case, as well as a few Switch games, but nothing here until I saw it. And that is this Build-A-Bear Squirtle. They wanted $12 for this thing, but I honestly don't have this one. So when I saw it, I knew I was going to have to grab this thing, and that is what I did. Now, honestly, this is in some rough condition. It's a little dirty here and there, but overall, I wanted to add this to my collection. I've been looking for one of these, and I didn't want to spend 25 or 30 bucks for it. So I ended up finding it for 12, and I knew immediately I was going to pick it up. I don't think it even has the sound effect thing in it, but that's okay. I absolutely love this. And as you could tell, I've been collecting the Build-A-Bear Pokemon series when I can find them. So picking this up for $12 is definitely well worth picking up. Now, I feel like this has actually been a pretty good haul for this place. I was here about a month ago and didn't expect to find this much stuff. First off, this Mario plush, kind of plush thing. Then obviously the Squirtle plush, and 3 games that were definitely well worth picking up. I cannot wait to play this Nancy Drew game. And then we've got Minecraft Dungeons as well as Extreme Legends. So overall, I feel like for a quick stop, I maybe spent 30 minutes here. I ended up with some really good stuff, and I'm definitely glad I checked it out. But what do you think? Would you have picked any of this up, or was there something in the video that I missed? Comment down below and let me know. But I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out right there. This guy needs to be cleaned. He's a little dirty there, but I definitely can't wait to add these to my collection. So I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.